think bad about it. Like, it's just no one's intentional anymore.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. And I don't date for fun. So for me, it's like you need to be intentional. Or I don't really care. I'd rather be by myself.
So I got a question for y'all. What does like the word intentional mean to y'all?
Someone who knows what they want and not afraid to show it and go for it. Like whatever that is. Like, because I feel like guys don't really be doing what they need to do and showing them.
Actions. A lot of people be doing a lot of talking.
Yeah.
That's it.
But them actions don't match.
Because I be thinking sometimes like I used to say it's easier for women to date, but now I think it's easier for men to date because I think because I'm just kind of thinking from like my mental frame shift. Like as a man, I could see a pretty woman and I could approach her and get her number. But I think for women, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys wait for like the guy that you want to approach you, right?
I do. I think that a guy should definitely approach a woman.
What about you, Nia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I be thinking that's hard though. Like, because as a guy, I could go and pick what I want, but it's more of like hoping the guy that you want picks you. Like that's hard. Like how do you guys deal with that as women?
We don't, because who hitting on us?
Y'all be hitting on y'all out there in Charlotte?
I mean, they not intentional. Like they not like they don't really be nothing that we want to entertain. I feel like, but let me just answer your question. Hold on, say this shit again. I'm gonna forget it.
What I was saying like damn, what did I say? I was saying
like for us to I guess be looking for people to be, I guess, intentional and talk to us first, I guess.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I feel like I don't know. Like I the only reason I feel like I don't approach men too is because it's just like I don't know. Like y'all are not like as open sometimes. Like y'all don't create that space for us to do that. And then as far as like waiting on the guy to approach me, it's just like I'm willing to wait on that. Like I know that the guy, like when a guy wants something, there's nothing that's gonna get in the way of him getting it. So at the end of the day, like I'm willing to wait for that guy. That even if it's only one guy and I have to wait 10 years, like I'm willing to wait for that. Cause I don't want no guy that I'm choosing. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I think there's like a certain stigma on guys that like when we go after them, like they don't like us as much because they didn't choose us first. That's how I feel, and then they don't put in the effort that it needs to entail.
I like that. I agree with that too.
I would say from a guy's perspective, you're kind of sort of right. I would say, because I know for me personally, it's not that a guy wants a challenge, but a guy wants a challenge in a way.
He wants a chase. A guy's like to chase.
But not chase too much, like within reason. Because some of them,
right.
Yeah, within reason. You want to feel like you worked for something, right? Like when I graduated and I got my degree, I knew I worked for it, so I valued it a whole lot. And it's not the same with women, but I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I think for me, I wouldn't really want a woman to approach me. So what I get a lot in like Houston is like I'll get women like giving me looks, right? They're like eye contact, smile, stuff like that. Then I'll make the decision on if I'm gonna approach them or not. And I think that's something that I guess women can do is just like make themselves approachable to the guy that they want. Maybe give them a little smile, give them a little head nod, and just like I guess be like an open vessel for being approached. That makes sense.
Right. Do you like? Have you dated much there?
I'll say it again.
Have you dated much there?
I said, have I dated what?
Have you dated much there?
Okay, so I'm recently back to Houston. I moved back to Houston in December, and when I moved back, I was already in a relationship. I was in a relationship with her for a while I was in college. So
Like how long?
I said again,
What's a while?
a while for me is a year.
Okay.
So a year. So when I moved back, we ended up breaking up the end of January. So with me, I'm not the type of person to break up with a woman, then like hop on another woman's train. I like to embrace my singleness when it comes to like an ending of a relationship. You know, I like to find contentment in my singleness before I'm open to that next relationship. You
Right.
know, I like to get to the point to where I'm happy being single. Then I'm able to welcome another woman into my life. You know,
Yeah, you should.
so yeah, that's what I did. So I'm just kind of now in that space to where like I would be open to a relationship, and that happened after about 5-6 months of being single.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just very mature when it comes to dating. I feel like in
How old are
relationship.
you?
I'm 25.
Okay.
I'm 25. But yes, I don't know. It's like I just kind of grew up like around like a lot of older people, and I kind of picked off.
I can tell. I can
Yeah,
tell.
I picked off the mistakes and the things that they did right. So try to apply it to my life.
Yeah. That's kind of how my life is too.
But yeah, I told myself it was so different though, because like initially, like I hated being single because I had to get used to not getting those good morning texts, you know, not getting those deep hugs, you know,
Men
all
be
that type
thinking
of
like
stuff.
that.
I'll say it again.
Men really be thinking like that. I didn't think they'd be thinking like that.
But you gotta think though, like I'm a man that's like purpose driven, and I'm a man that's like
You a
Christian.
man. You a man. There's not many of y'all out there.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of men like they'll go through a breakup, right, and they'll hop right on to the next woman, not healed, not
That's what
whole,
my ex-husband did.
and she has to pay for what he didn't do in his singleness. You know?
Oh, I like that. That was actually good.
Yeah.
That was actually-
It was. He said I gotta pay for what he didn't do in his singleness. That's good.
Yeah, because I had to heal myself during my singleness. I had to go to God. I'd be like, God, like, you know,
Somebody put that on Instagram now.
100,000 ways,
Grind 100 ways.
100 ways. But what do y'all think though? Like, how do y'all approach y'all singleness?
I mean, okay, so I'm recently divorced.
Ooh, that's a,
Yes.
how do you feel about that?
For me, like I just been spending this time like working on myself and trying to love myself, like get back to like loving myself and finding who I am because I lost myself in marriage. And also making sure that I don't attract the same type of person again because like yeah, I knew better.
What about you, Nia?
Definitely the same thing. I've been freaking reading book after book after book and trying to just, I've been in therapy and everything, just trying to grow, be different than I was before. And I don't know, I really started tackling down on like what I guess want out of a relationship, what I want out of a person, and like what love means to me before I really get all the way deep into something or find somebody or anything like that. I feel like that's important because I don't know, I've been learning that what we think or the idea of what love is to us is not how it's supposed to be. Like sometimes it's kind of like not really unrealistic, but kind of like fantasy.
I guess kind of building off that love thing. What do you think this generation gets wrong when it comes to love?
Y'all want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Because
I'm just speaking from experience and kind of, I guess, what I have seen and being married and stuff like that. I think what we get wrong when it comes to love is not a feeling. Like love is a choice. Love is work each and every day. So like even when you don't have that feeling anymore, it doesn't mean that that's not love. And it also too, that feeling is not what's going to help you maintain that relationship. That feeling is not what's going to help you pay your bills and build your life with that person. So I feel like a lot of us get attached to the feeling and not really what love actually entails.
Good answer. Good answer. What about you, Nee?
she said it all.
Yeah,
She definitely said it all.
I think building off of what Kierra was saying, I think sometimes like social media, we live in a
Yes,
social media generation,
yes.
and social media mixed with Hollywood, we get a perception of what love is. We get the idea that love is perfection, but like Kierra was saying, like love is work. Love is two imperfect people coming together trying to maintain a union,
Right.
and in order for that to work, it takes you going in with the mentality that, love is not an emotion, because the honeymoon phase, of course, the honeymoon phase is going to be great, right? Like, you love that person. Everything is like sunshines and rainbows. But once you get to the spot to where you're going through storms in your relationship, maybe the communication is not as good as it was before. Maybe something happened to where the trust is broken. But can you love that person through that storm?
And I would say this too, like, and this is something going through my divorce that even I had to realize. Love supersedes everything. So like when you make that commitment, even like even if a person does something, it doesn't change that love for them. Like nothing's like love doesn't die. And I don't know, it's like when people say that it does, or I just like don't worry about that person, or like whatever it is, I'm just like, was it really love then? Because love supersedes all of that. It doesn't mean you gotta be together, I guess, but like you don't just quit loving people when you love them, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think kind of going back to the singleness aspect of things, I think another big thing that this generation misses out on is learning how to forgive a person. I think they truly mix out on that. And that's something that I had to learn too. I learned that in my last situation. Because my last situation, it ended due to infidelity on her part. And I had to learn how to forgive a person in real time. Because before I was never the type to forgive a person. I was the type to just level up and like throw it in their face. Like, I got me a new degree, I got me a new job. Like, I'm doing it up. Like, look at you.
Right.
That was the type of person that I am. But from this last situation, I learned how to forgive a person like nothing happened. Like I forgave her like nothing happened. Like if I was to see her today, it'll be a hug and a smile. Because I completely forgave, but I forgave with the understanding that you're not my
I
wife.
pray to get to that
Real
point.
mature.
Yeah, I really do pray to get to that point, because I feel like I can forgive your actions, but I haven't got to the point where like I can forgive your actions, but I want to reconcile or like talk to you or be around you or hug you. Like, yeah, mine is like, yeah, I forgive you, bro. Ain't no harm, ain't no bad blood there, but like, yeah, don't call me, don't talk to me, don't hug me, don't touch me.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like me getting to this point, it took months. It took months, but I noticed for me to get over that heartbreak, I had to forgive her. I know people in therapy, they've been going with therapy for years because of a heartbreak. And they're still at pretty much at the beginning process of healing. But I noticed for me, what helped me get through that grief and that anger was forgiveness. You
But
know,
let me ask you though, I
yeah.
get the forgiveness part, but why do you feel like forgiveness entails when you see the person is hugs and love? Like, why does your mind go there? Why can't it just be like forgiveness? And I'm not saying like it has to be that. I'm curious, like why your mind goes like that you have to do that versus like if you see him, no bad blood, but I keep going, mind my business.
I say I was able to get to that point of forgiveness because I was able to completely forgive everything that she's done. So there's no bitterness in my heart towards her at all. I mean, there's of course there's an understanding that she's not my wife and we'll never be like what we used to be. And I'll
Do
never
you feel
entertain that.
like if you never got to the point where you could hug her and talk to her, that would mean you were bitter? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you got to think here. There's a sense of bitterness in the aspect of you, I guess, seeing a person from your past and I guess like not saying nothing to them. I think there is a hint of
Saying
bitterness in
something
that.
is different than hugging her.
No,
Yeah.
I was saying like if she offered a hug, it'd be a hug. It wouldn't be like none of that. It wouldn't be like my first thing to do was to go hug her. But if I was to go like see her in public or something, it'd be a smile, like nothing happened. But with the understanding that that's not my wife, because there's no bad blood, there's no resentment in my heart. Like I'm looking at her like I look at a stranger because I'm like nothing happened that caused me to look at you in a different way.
Personally, I think a hey, how you doing? You good? I'm good.
Head nodding,
Keep it moving is good
elbow
enough. Like
tap.
that's
Yeah.
just me, and I don't think there's no bad blood, bitterness, none of that there. But that's just me, like how I feel. I don't feel like I owe you. I don't owe you. How you been? What you been up to? No, you don't need no nothing. I'm great. You good? See you later. Nice to see you.
And I know for me getting to that level of forgiveness, it allowed me to be in a position to where I'm able to welcome a new woman into my life because I hold no resentment towards the past. You know, I've completely forgiven the past. So now I'm able to welcome a new woman into my life because I hold no trust issues, no resentment, like none of that. You know,
Right.
and I had to forgive that person to get to that point because a lot of people they don't forgive in their singleness. So now their next relationship has to pay for it.
Yes.
Because it's just gonna pay for it. If you don't take care of what you need to take care of in this season,
I agree.
it's gonna translate to the next season.
Well, let me ask you: do you think that it's possible for a male to move on and work on himself while jumping from one relationship to the next without much break in between? Do you think it's possible for him to work on himself while doing that, or how do you feel about that?
It's kind of hard because like if you jump from relationship to relationship, a relationship could kind of become a codependency. You know,
Man, you you on point.
it could become a
What book
codependency.
you been reading?
Boy, you on point. Because
Yeah.
a 25-year-old black male saying this right now is impressive. I want you to know that.
I appreciate it. But yeah, that could be a codependency because in my singleness, I learned I learned how to be alone. I learned how to find contentment in going into a restaurant and eating alone. I learned how to go to the mall by myself, do my thing. Go if I want to do something like on the weekend, I go to the arcade by myself and I'm happy. I'm content, you know? And that's how I knew I was ready for something new because I was able to find contentment within myself. I didn't jump from relationship seeking codependency, seeking to heal with another person. No, I wanted to heal by myself. I wanted to fill my cup up so I could share my cup with somebody else in the future as a whole person. And that's important.
It's important.
And that's important. But that's what I had to learn from my last situation though, because like before, of course,